Hi girls, it's Caddy. I'm here to share with you my 8th process video. It is called Today is That Day. And this is my 3rd of 10 layouts that I'm hoping to do with my Work It Wednesday challenge that I have for myself. And this photo I'm going to be scrapbooking today is of the Painted Ladies, which are those very famous houses that you see in movies and TV shows in San Francisco. And this was from this past December. So the photo is not great. I'm in it. I'm right on the right side of it, but you can barely see me. It's very dark, but I still wanted to use that photo just because, you know, it's the houses, you can see them perfectly, and that's the main focus of the picture. And the reason I titled this layout Today is That Day is because when I was younger, when I was way younger, I think like elementary school, I would watch, I'm sure you guys are all familiar with that show, the television show Full House. And in the intro for Full House, you would always see the Painted Ladies. And I always said, one day I'm going to go to San Francisco. Or I probably didn't even know it was San Francisco back then. I just knew it was where they filmed Full House. So I always said one day I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna visit the houses and see where they filmed, you know, that show. So that day, or today was that day, and it was on it was actually Christmas Day. This past December, we were in California. And that day, we almost didn't get to see the houses because that day we had to drive from San Francisco to Lake Tahoe because we did a 4-city trip. So we were going to be headed from San Francisco to Lake Tahoe. And we were running late because we didn't want to drive so late because it was like almost a 3-hour drive, I think. So we didn't want to go and drive so late and get to our hotel so late because we didn't know how the drive was going to be because we've never driven there before. So, and we knew there was going to be mountains and stuff, so we didn't want it to be too late at night. So we basically, that day we just hung out in the city and you know, we, I guess, lost track of time. So we did what we wanted to do that day, but we had to head out. And I said, you know, to my boyfriend, I said, I can't leave San Francisco without seeing the Painted Ladies. And we actually went to see the house where supposedly, I think it was, the show is filmed, which is another house, I guess. I don't know. I googled it and gave me an address, so we went to that house and took pictures there as well. But the Painted Ladies were what I wanted to document because that's always what I remember from when I was a child. So it was pretty cool to get to be there and see them. And since I am continuing with my Work It Wednesday challenge, I'm using all the products that I said I was going to use. Of course, with the exception of you know, the paints and stencils and stuff, which that's just from my stash. So there's my son next to me. You can see his feet. He came over to say something to me. So yeah, so basically I took some papers from each of the paper packs and just placed them like you see them right there, and then I'm just using modeling paste and some paint, some acrylic paint, and I'm just gonna do that like ivory color down there, and then a gray, which I had to add white to it to make it lighter because it was too dark of a gray. So then I'm just using that, and then I'm just using that stencil, which I want to say is Bowser, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't have the packaging. But yeah, I just use that stencil, and it just has a bunch of little squares and rectangles and going in different directions. And you saw me a couple minutes ago, I was struggling with that paper. I couldn't get it to be centered on that orangey coral colored background. I couldn't get it and I had to take it off a couple times and put it back on, but I finally got it. So yeah. And then I'm just using this Teresa Collins stencil, and I'm going to stencil on that little house, just this with that same modeling paste and ivory paint. And then I'm gonna heat that a little bit and then just put it to the side so I can start working on my photo and the layers I want to add to it. And I also pulled that that's from the Dear Lizzie, which is one of the 12 by 12 paper pads that I'm using. I use that it's a vellum, and it's a vellum with like sort of coral colored circles. So then I'm just gonna begin layering now, and I just took a few papers from the 2 6x6 paper pads that I'm using with this challenge, and most of the papers that I took from there are from the Studio Calico Atlantic Collection paper pad, and I just use, I think, one with pink dots from the American Craft Dots and Stripes paper pad. And then I'm just going around and inking everything with my Tim Holtz walnut stain distress ink, and I'm gluing everything before I ink it, just because, you know, it's happened to me before where I ink the edges of everything, and then since everything gets layered, you know, or there's things on top of it, it doesn't even show. So yeah, lesson learned. So I glue everything down. I just apply one strip of tape of the with my tape runner, and then I just ink the edges from there, and then I only really need to ink what you're gonna see. So then I just used a bunch of different patterns and colors. And I have to say, I'm not using that doily, which I've had that half a doily for I don't know how long in there. and I finally used it, and then I flipped it over and it had tape, and then yeah, so finally used that up, and just gluing that down. What was I gonna say? I'm having it's been kind of fun. There's my OCD, it's not straight, so I need to get it straight. I'm going to mess with it again now. Watch. There I go. It just wasn't straight, and I wanted it to be straight, so there it is. And that paper that I just added, that I cut out, which is up there on the top right, it's a pink, and it has some letters on it. That I end up taking off because it says summer. It has a bunch of little words, but one of the words is summer, and it was not summer, so I know it doesn't really matter, and nobody would have probably noticed, but I noticed, so I took it off, and I placed another one up there. And that love I don't end up using either, and the one on top of the love, I don't use that either. You know, I'm just kind of playing with things and just kind of seeing where I like them. And that little oh so lovely I wanted to use as well, but I don't end up using that either. So I'm gonna end up removing those, and I even ink that, but I don't use it. And then I'm gonna take some of this trim from Michaels, and I'm just gonna take that yellow one with the gray polka dots, and I'm just gonna place it right there under my photo. And I'm looking through those, but I don't like any of those. And I thought about using a kite, but I don't end up using that. I really am trying to use up as much as I can from this kit I've created. you know, a lot of the stuff that I have in there is stuff that I've had in my stash for a while, and I do want to use it. So, you know, I'm trying to do that, but it is hard. I mean, it is hard to stay with this just with this kit, but I'm trying to stick to it as much as I can, and I really want to try to just use everything in this kit and not use anything else. And I almost cheat with this layout, because I do pull some other thickers, but I don't end up using them. And then of course I realized I didn't map my photo. I always do that. Once I have everything glued down and I'm ready to go, I realize I didn't map my photo. Story of my life. But I guess that's just the fun in scrapbooking and crafting. It's just trial and error, and sometimes you place things somewhere and sometimes you don't like it, and there's times when you just gotta let it be, because it's not always gonna be perfect. And I thought about using that as my title, Love Today. So, and then I was just gonna put, you see, in my kit I had those same, they look like the little Scrabble letters. I have the tan and brown ones in my kit, but I pulled these gray ones from my stash, which are the same, and I do have 2 packs of those too. So had I used those, it would have been okay, because I do have 2 packs, but I don't end up using them. I don't like them, so I don't end up using those. And then after I mess around with them a few times, I just take them off and pull them to the side, because I don't like them. Just trying to kind of see where I like them, but I don't end up liking them. And then I thought about using those American craft letters, but I don't like those either. And then I finally give up on the love. I realize that I'm not gonna like it, and I do stop the video here, and then it comes right back, because I said, you know what, I'm gonna have to look through this sticker book for a while to see if I even like anything, and I don't. So there I go. I'm gonna stop the video, and then I come back, and then that's when I kind of decide that I want to use that title, which is today is that day. And then I just use my Tombow, the mono Tombow, and I just write out just in cursive day, and I just use some of that orangey coral, it's more like an orange, glitter, and that's just American Crafts glitter. You can use any glitter really. And then I just use that, and I do a double layer of the glitter on that. And then I did pull those Studio Calico yellow little alpha stickers, which are not in my kit. So I guess I did cheat a little bit, but you know, I realized that I didn't really pull any small you know, any small little font for this, so I just use those. And then my video does get cut off, of course, because I have this big issue with my iPad, which is where I record, and my memory is like almost full, and I have to like record videos, transfer them to my laptop, which is where I edit my videos, and I have to just, you know, erase video, the oldest video, and then do the new one, and then it usually cuts off on me. So you're gonna hear me say, until I get that fixed, you're gonna hear me say, you know, my video got cut off, because it does get cut off all the time. So you're not gonna see me in the end, but I am going to on the bottom right, beginning right under that doily on the bottom, I'm gonna write with little, it's just little Hampton art, little what are they called, little font stamps, like little letters. I'm gonna put down there the Painted Ladies, San Francisco, California. And then I'm also gonna add from that same pack where I got that circle embellishment that says Getaway. I'm gonna use 2 little photo corners on the top left and bottom right of my photo. So I'm gonna add that to my layout, and you won't see me do that on camera. And then I'm just fussing around right now with some sequins, trying to see if I like them, but I don't like them, and I just end up not using them at all. And then that button, which is on the bottom right, I'm gonna move that to the left as well. Now I'm just taking some acrylic paint, and I have that coral color, which I'm watering down a bit, and then it's a little bit too light, so I do take a little bit of orange and a little bit of red, just to kind of get the color that I wanted. And then I just do splatters on the bottom right and on the top left of the photo. And that completes my layout. Just showing you some close-ups. I do want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I love to hear from you guys. And if anyone's following in on my challenge, I would love to hear that as well. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.